Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, $1 billion investment at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. Andrew Diss, the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer with Meruelo Gaming, joins us here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. Big R is Northern Nevada's #1 Golden Fire wood pellet supplier. More heat, less ash, 100% natural, and no additives. And there's only one place that stocks this many wood pellets, and that's Big R in Sparks, Winnemucca, Fallon, Fernley, and Lovelock. A river of wood pellets at Big R.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the do-it-right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
It's the $100,000 Cash is King Progressive giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Giveaways every Saturday with a Progressive up to $20,000 and $15,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. There's another 100,000 reasons to play and win at the Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Andrew Diss. He is the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer for Meruelo Gaming. Always hard to get all of that out in one shot there. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Great to be back, Sam.
So your recent announcements are astonishing. For those that are not aware, please announce what happened.
So here's the headline, Sam. Alex Meruelo is making the largest private capital investment in the history of Reno. We are doing multi-phased development. The cornerstone is going to be a new 10,000-seat arena. It's going to be the new home for Nevada men's basketball. We're going to be able to do major concerts, A-listers coming to Reno, any other event you can think of. We're going to be finally updating our beautiful lake, and think of a Bellagio-type water show with the lights and the fountains. We're going to have a state-of-the-art golf facility on it. It's going to be the only one like it in the country. And then one of the things that Mr. Meruelo always asks me is, he says, Andrew, let me know what's going on in Reno. What are some of the big issues? And I usually give him a list of 5 things, and housing is always on it. And he has, from day one, as he's been planning this development, taking care of our team members at GSR has been very important to him, and he knows that a lot of people are having a hard time finding a place to live, and then once they do, they're having a hard time affording it. So he's going to be building workforce housing on our existing RV lot right along the Truckee River on one side and the lake on the other side. It's going to be a beautiful location. And then the final piece, if later on down the road we're talking 6-7 years, if everything pencils out and it makes sense, we will add a new tower to the property. So altogether, we're talking about $1 billion, Sam.
That's an astonishing investment and a wonderful investment. In terms of rooms in a new tower, what are you looking at? Obviously they'll be new, but 800 rooms in that new tower. You'll have a mix. We'll probably do possibly a boutique concept, but you'll be on that end of the property over where the spa is, the lake, and the pool, and so you'll have a nice direct connect into the existing property, just with updated amenities for everybody. Okay, so you're looking at probably about 2,800 rooms, somewhere in that range for the property. Yes. Yeah, and it's mind-blowing. When Kokorian first built that property, there were 4 pods, each one for 1,000 rooms. And I never thought I would ever see the day when somebody would build 4,000 rooms in Reno. Then the row ended up with 4,000 rooms because of the conglomerations of their properties. But I thought, okay, well, this is going to be where it ends. But it keeps going, because you just look at the business people's hotels. you know, the Hyatts, the Marriotts, the others that are coming into town, they're all booming, they're all filled up. And so there's obviously a need for more rooms because we're seeing more and more of these giant companies coming to Northern Nevada.
Yeah, and you know, adding this new arena to the destination, it's going to help everybody across town get lift. I was talking to some of the other guys who run properties here in town, and just doing the quick math, if we have a 10,000 seat facility but we only have 2,000 rooms at GSR, that means people coming in from over the hill to see a big concert, they're going to be staying somewhere else. And so it's really going to bring that lift to the city, and it's just going to drive business to everybody else around here.
Which is always a good thing. And you know, that was the slogan back in the days of Bill Harrah and Pappy Smith. The idea was you advertise to bring everybody to Reno and then you fight over them once they get here. You know, it's not about just doing everything for your property, it's the whole community. One of the things that I've seen and admired is the variety of entertainment that you bring to GSR. It's not just the same old folks that everybody's seen. And I think that this, in part, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is what's driving the success of the property. Is there's a whole lot of people that have never been to Reno before now want to come and see these acts.
It really is. And just last week, Sam, we had the Killers in town. The Killers are a Nevada band. They're from Las Vegas, and we booked them for a show, and it sold out immediately. And we asked them, would you guys do a second night? And they said yes, we would, and we booked that second night immediately. And so there are certain groups that will come here that people are willing to pay for. The issue we run into is having a facility that's big enough for the big names. And if you put them in a theater like the one that we have 2,500 seats. If you book a big name, that's going to drive ticket prices up because you're in a smaller venue. But all of a sudden, if you open it up to a 10,000 seat venue, you bring that ticket price down, you make it more accessible for everybody to come see, and it really gives you a lot of flexibility in the types of acts that you can book.
One of the things that we've seen in Vegas, for example, with Allegiant Stadium, is the impetus to improve the Raiders' performance, and they're talking about the same thing for the A's. When the A's come, they're going to have to step up their game. Is the same thing going to happen? Is that what President Sandoval is saying in terms of this new stadium?
Yeah, what you heard the president and Stephanie Remp and Coach Alford saying the other day was how it's going to transform the program. Number one, they're going to be playing in a world-class facility, but when Coach Alford is out there on the recruiting trail and he gets to show people who are considering coming to Nevada to play basketball and they get to play in a state-of-the-art facility, you know, that's a game changer for that program. But for the fan experience as well, Sam, we're going to have 20 suites. We don't have any suites at Lawler currently. We're still going to maintain that 10,000 seating capacity. The amenities for the fans watching the team at the game, it's going to be out of this world, and our community deserves it.
Ice. The mayor is a very excited person because she was a champion skater, and there is a huge demand for this in Reno.
There is. My good friend Joel Grace and everything that he's done in South Reno with Reno Ice, we've seen the community really latch onto it and support it, and it's tough to get enough time if you want to book space at Ice Reno. So we see what we're building as a complement to that. We're going to have a practice facility next to the main arena. Both will have the capability to do ice events. For the practice arena, we see more community events to get kids involved in all the ice sports. And then for the main event, think Disney on Ice in the main arena. You know, just different shows that are geared around that, possibly some championships, while for Olympic qualifying we could do there. But it really has that ability to switch back and forth and offer you whatever you want.
One of the other things that I'm sure this is going to drive is you're going to need more restaurants.
Yes, we're going to need more restaurants. You noticed during the announcement that we are going to be building a new promenade all along the lake. And so you're going to have an open atmosphere right on the water. You can watch a water show, and we're going to have new dining establishments out there. It'll be a great place to eat before or after an event that you're attending at the new arena. It's easy access inside the existing property if you're staying there, and there will definitely be more F&B options when all this comes online.
And let's talk about the water show.
So Mr. Meruelo has always wanted to combine the best elements of all the Vegas properties into one place. And, certain places have golf, some places have the water show, some places have an arena, but no property in Vegas has all of them combined into one place. And we are going to be doing that. And the new water show it's going to make our lake iconic. As you're flying into the destination and you're landing at Reno Tahoe Airport and you look out your window and you see the lake lit up at night and the fountains going, people are going to be leaving Reno when they go back to wherever they flew in from saying, that's a place that I want to come back to.
All right, so it seems to me that you're going to have to grow the market in all different kinds of areas. And the fact that the airport is going through this massive expansion right now is a good thing. Where is your market going to be? Is it still going to be the West Coast, or do you see it expanding beyond that?
We 100% see it expanding. The West Coast will always be our bread and butter, but like you said, with the improvements going on at the airport, we are always harping on the airport to bring more flights, bring more flights, bring more flights, make them direct flights. And with the expansion going on, they will have the ability to bring in more, and we're going to have the room inventory to support more visitors to Reno.
What are the other properties saying?
The reception has been very supportive. I think everybody is supportive of the university, but also it raises the bar, and I think it's going to force everybody else to step up their offerings as well. But there's been a little bit of skepticism, but on the whole, I think everybody is saying this is good for the university.
Hang on a second. Somebody at this point in time is skeptical about Alex Meruelo. I mean, dude, when this guy says he's going to do something, he does it.
Yeah, it still surprises me too, Sam, because
it's like, wow, sit down with a guy. If you're lucky enough, I got to sit down with him for 3 hours. It was a mind-blowing experience. Not only does he talk, but more important, he listens. He wants to know what you're thinking.
We embrace the skepticism because I think it adds fuel to his fire. He loves to tell a story about when he first came to Reno in 2011 that he was told by different people that he wouldn't last longer than 6 months.
Right.
Well, here we are, 12 years later.
Right.
And he has the #1 property in town, and he has put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. He's since expanded into Las Vegas and all these other different business areas, NHL, hockey, you name it, he's in it. And like you said, he does exactly what he says he's going to do.
Well, and the other part, and we've talked about this on the show before, is his broadcast properties, especially in Los Angeles, where he can market. I mean, those properties, it's a paper transfer, but he owns those properties to be able to market the area. So all these acts that he wants to bring in, he has all the ability in the world to be able to promote them at a much cheaper cost than anybody else.
You're absolutely right. We have 2 TV and 5 radio stations in Los Angeles. And if you didn't know any better and you're in an Uber driving through LA and you got the radio on, you're probably listening to one of our stations and you're going to be hearing advertisements for the Grand Sierra and for the Sahara. And you're like, man, these guys are really pounding the Southern California market hard. Well, there's a reason why we're doing that, and it's because we control those stations.
All right, so what about the Pacific Northwest? Portland, Seattle, those used to be good feeder markets for the Reno area, and then they kind of died off. Where are they now?
The issue is flights, Sam. You remember as well as I do, we had smaller airlines like Reno Air back in the day that were servicing those destinations, and right now, Frontier really is kind of your only option. So if we start expanding the offerings with different airlines and we get more of those routes coming in, then you will absolutely see the investment follow where the planes go, because we don't invest in a market unless people have the ability to get here from there. And so that's why we work so closely with the airport authority. We look at the destinations that they're trying to attract, and then that's when we follow with the marketing dollars.
All right, so you brought up Reno Air, and you said it was a little airline, and it was at the time, but it was a $15 million investment from Harrah's and a $15 million investment from the Rio, which was not at that time owned by Harrah's or now Caesars. Do you ever see something like that happening again? Because Gary Carano was on the show a couple of years ago, and I started talking to him about those kind of possibilities, and he started to answer, and then he stopped.
I don't know. It's funny because when you think of gaming and airlines, I automatically think of Kirk Kerkorian, who built our property.
Right.
And he was kind of the originator of concepts like that. It's not something that us as a company has looked at, but if another company wants to plunge into those waters, we would be very supportive of it.
All right, let's take a break. More with Andrew Diss when we come back.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving northern Nevada one industry at a time.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
It's a good time to eat. It's a good time to play.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good times at Tamarack.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Andrew Diss. He is the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer for Meruelo Gaming and is talking about this amazing overtime billion-dollar investment in Reno. And you're talking about the combination of a gaming property and the university. And for so many years in Reno, under previous administrations, the university wanted to have nothing to do with downtown. And it wasn't really until there was an explosion of the university and they were forced to take rooms downtown to house students that you actually saw gaming come down that, mile or so to be in there. What's the history?
I think right now at this point in time, you have the two guys, number one being Mr. Meruelo at GSR and then President Sandoval at the university. They have a relationship that goes back before Sandoval was even elected governor. And the fact that he has a background where he was on the Gaming Commission and then he was governor for 8 years, he understands how vital the industry is to the state, and I think he doesn't have the same hangups as previous presidents who came from academia did about that relationship with gaming. The other huge upside for the university is they are not putting a single penny of capital investment into this project. This is all on Alex Meruelo, and that is a huge benefit to the university. They will be a long-term tenant for the facility, but I think if you were to ask the president, he would probably tell you, number one, it's the relationship and the trust he has in Alex, but number two is the location. there's probably going to be a little bit of community blowback about it not being on campus. But right now it's really difficult to get in and out of games on a single lane road going up and down Virginia, and then you get stuck in that parking garage for 40 minutes after a game trying to leave. It's just not a great fan experience. But with our location right next to the Spaghetti Bowl, it doesn't matter if you're a Nevada Wolfpack fan who lives in Verdi or Sparks or Carson City or Stead. It's easy in, easy out from all directions of the valley.
We didn't talk about the economic development part of this, and one of the things that I think is such a strong point for President Sandoval is that he was so hugely involved as governor in economic development. How many jobs are you looking at creating in the construction of this facility?
So just for the arena, we're looking at about 1,500 construction jobs.
Huge.
That's a pretty solid number. There was a new arena built in Palm Desert that just opened last December, comparable in the specs, 300,000 square feet. And that's how many construction jobs it was. But then if you add on what it's going to take, we're going to have to build a parking garage, Sam, because
of course
we have all that surface lot. So we're building a garage at the same time that we're building the arena. And then the work on the lake and the golf infrastructure is going to be going on at the same time. So you're going to have added jobs. We're going to be in the thousands of jobs, Sam. And then you're going to have the full-time jobs on top of that to run the arena, to run all of the new amenities that we're putting in. It's really going to help things. And the thing you'll notice about everything we're talking about, they're non-gaming amenities. Our business has dramatically changed over the last couple decades, and we have been forced to look at things outside of just depending on our gaming win to drive business. And so that's why we're looking at all these different amenities, and the sports and entertainment aspect is going to be a big winner.
And the other side of that is that the industry has been forced, because of gaming spread not only across the country but around the world, to charge actual pricing for all these various facilities. So you don't get $1.99 filet mignon, and you don't get a free concert thrown in. You have to pay the freight, but you're getting the quality of entertainment and food, etc., and now sports that makes this all work. The other side of this, by the way, I want to point out, because I use Grand Sierra all the time on this show as an example of size. Your property sits on 150 acres. So even with all this development, you still got a lot of land.
We do, and what you saw at the announcement event is that we're focused on the southern part of the property. That whole northern end of the property is still going to be open, and so we will have space for our legacy events, like Hot August Nights was a big driver to our community. And so we still have the ability to switch back and forth with things that we've been doing for a long time, and then all the new things that we're putting in place.
All right, let's take a break. More with Andrew Diss when we come back.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Andrew Diss. He is the Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer for Meruelo Gaming. I want to ask you about what happened in Vegas with the properties and the computer hacks. And what was the Grand Sierra's response and Sahara's response?
So fortunately, we have always had pretty tight controls and security systems in place with two-factor identification and things like that. What I have heard is that MGM did not have some of those protocols in place, and their system was a little bit easier to hack. But it's very scary, Sam, because I think these hackers are going to be looking at our industry in particular because we have millions of customers in our databases with all this personal information, and it's going to be a very rich target for these companies. So everybody in our industry needs to step up and make sure that the protocols are in place so that this does not happen again.
Well, one of the things that was shocking, and I don't remember if it was Rick Vallata or Howard Stutz that wrote about this, but was that MGM turned off their machines, the gaming machines, before it started spitting out money. That was one of their concerns.
Yeah, and it led to massive losses for that week and a half or so that it was going on. I mean, it was going back to the good old days where you were having to do hand counts for things. People were checking in guests and writing down their credit card information with a pen and paper because the computer systems were down, but it also affected all the employees at these companies because it hit their payroll systems and everything. I mean, they were really held hostage. It was bad.
Well, and it was nice to see Commissioner Brian Krolicki saying we need to investigate this and figure out what went on, and it's great to have him back.
Yeah, it is great to have Brian back on the commission.
Thank you so much for doing this. The timing was perfect. I really appreciate it, and congratulations to you and the entire GSR team. And Mr. Meruelo just continues to kick, well, it's that rear end. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can always watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day by downloading the audio or video podcast, watching us on YouTube, or just go to the website, NevadaNewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next broadcast.